And welcome to Hit the Books, the only weekly realistic fantasy booking podcast in the universe. And then like an echo effect, universe. My cats are just storming by me right now. Jesus Christ. Anyways, that's a real distraction from the start. Anyway, I'm not restarting because I'm Ryan Knightsey. I never restart. I always move forward. I'm a professional that never restarts, always move forward. I don't care if it's 2 takes, 3 takes, 4 takes.
One take and one take only.
That's all I do. I'm no edits Ryan Knightsey, and with me, as always, is the spicy nugget himself, Mikey Manfredi. Mikey, we've already heard your voice, but how you doing, fella?
I'm doing great. I'm here. I'm so glad your new nickname is Ryan No Edits Knightsey, because I know you're going to nail this whole thing and make my job a whole lot easier. Don't fuck up, man.
Yes,
that's all I'm saying.
If you heard me on G1 and Only, I have a soundboard that plays everything on sound, and I'm just doing it live edits. So like when I just upload it straight to, no edits on my part.
What kind of sounds do you have in your soundboard?
Well, I have. Hold on, let me hook up the soundboard.
Ryan No Edits Nicey.
Ryan No Edits sound. Don't edit this out.
I'm gonna edit this out.
I have this sound effect. Only I will be able to hear this. Only me and the audience can hear this, not you, Mikey, because of how the Zoom is set up. And I'm just gonna play it. There it is. There we go. There's a couple of farts. Mikey, thoughts on that so far as I pull up my next sound?
Oh, it all just sounds so funny on my end. Because it just sounds like you being like, all right, here we go. Silence.
And then silence and then me chuckling.
Like an idiot.
Hold on, I'm loading up my next sound. Is this what people wanted to start? This...
Is this a good podcast?
Yeah, this is my next sound. Here we go.
Still got nothing, buddy. You're trying your best.
It's loading. No, don't edit this. Nope, this is a commercial. God damn it, YouTube. You screwed me. Here we go. And there it is. That's my next sound. Is this a fun bit, or is this killing the show?
I think it was a fun bit, and then we spiraled it.
and then it
it had the chance to be a fun bit, but then everything went off the rails very quickly.
Yes. Ryan.
Like the potential was definitely there.
And if anything, if we've learned anything today, is that editing is important. Don't be no edits. Editing is important. Make sure you edit your podcast, folks.
It'll be a one-take wonder.
That's my advice. There was someone, I don't know who it was, but someone on like Twitter at one point like DM'd us asking for like podcast advice. I was like, here you go. Here's a bunch. And my next advice would be...
Podcast advice must be pretty desperate.
No, we're smart people. Don't dog us like that. We have a whole fucking thing. My cat is chasing his own tail right now, and it's adorable. He's like on a stool, and he's chasing his own tail, just right next to me. It's weirdo.
So for those who are new here, this is a wrestling booking podcast.
What?
Not a soundboard tester.
No, yeah, Mikey, can you put us back on the rails, please?
So we are here to book Raw and SmackDown leading into Survivor Series right now. Ryan's got the Raw side. I am on the SmackDown side. We have our brand new rosters from the Season 4 draft because Season 4 is in full swing right now. We are on Episode 2, and we are building up to our pay-per-view Survivor Series, which is in 2 weeks.
Yes. Next week is the go home. Yeah, we only have 3 weeks to do this. So next week is the go home, and then after that is Survivor Series itself.
It's hard to build brand loyalty for people who just got here.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the constant complaint every single year of Survivor Series. And at this point, it's like, yeah, but you know, that's the thing. I don't like the idea that like, hey, everyone should have fake loyalties to brands. I like the idea of always like prepping Survivor Series teams around like rivalries. So, for instance. I don't know who's on your side of the roster yet on your SmackDown teams.
Actually, well, you know of Kevin Owens.
Yes.
And AJ Styles.
Yes, and for the women's side, I know Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair. So, like, something like... you don't know anyone on my side, do you? I don't think you do yet.
You're about to learn 2 more from each team tonight.
Yes, I think all you know is on my side is Sonya Deville and Peyton Royce. So if you had like Billie Kay on your side, I think that would be like interesting. I know she lost her match, but that's another thing. Like I think there's like I like the idea of it being like, sure, they're maybe not be brand loyalty, but like the rivalry. There's like rivalries between each side, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, if Keith Lee is on one side and Roman was on the other. I know that's not happening, obviously, but, you know, something like that. I always like the idea of that. Like, of course, yeah, the brand loyalty thing of, like, when someone, like, faux pas brand loyalty. That's not the phrase. I'm not using that correctly. When someone does, like, fake brand loyalty or they do, like, the invasion, it's just like, these guys are all, like, fighting on Friday. Why is it, like, all of a sudden they come together?
I'm building a team that is unstable, to say the least, that is going to have the one person to try to pull them together.
They're, like, mentally challenged, or they're, like, going through something deep or hard? They're unstable?
No, they're just a bunch of people who don't mesh well together. Like, we already have a little bit of... we'll see tonight.
I guess we'll see more. Well, let's get into the actual goddamn show. Like Mikey said, we are a booking podcast. I'm handling Raw. Mikey's handling SmackDown. Every single week, you, the audience, can vote on Twitter who you thought had the better card. We have the results from our first ever episode of Season 4 from last week. Definitely go check that out as well. I think that's a very good episode. But the main event last week for Raw was Keith Lee versus Aleister Black for the WWE Championship, along with everything else that happened. SmackDown was Styles versus Baszler for a spot on the SmackDown's Men's Survivor Series team. Again, along with everything else that happened on SmackDown, the fans voted, the listeners voted, and they said that the winner of last week's Episode 1 was Mickie. SmackDown Blue Brand wins.
I love it. I love getting the first win of Season 4.
Yes. The first win of Season 4 goes to Mickie Manfredi, goes to SmackDown.
Can't let my guard down, though, because this is how Season 3 started as well.
This is true. I believe you went on a run. I don't remember what it was, but I believe you went on a run for a couple weeks, and then I was able to get back.
Yeah.
I don't quite remember.
So I can't let my guard down.
I'm not surprised. It was 55% or 56% SmackDown, 44% Raw. So it's a close one there. But I'm not really surprised that I lost here. I think the Edge and Bryan stuff probably had me lose a little bit.
You know what it was? Detective Truth.
No, Al, I did not have Detective Truth. No, I did have Detective Truth.
No, you have Referee Truth now, right?
Well, I guess I have to win people over and convince people that Referee Truth
Referee Truth is just as good.
Yes.
Or better.
Yes, or better, and that's the goal, I guess. But yeah, I feel like maybe that could be it. Edge Bryan could have been it. You know, maybe people don't like. I mean, I don't know. I think I came out, like I said last week, I came out swinging with a big show, and I don't know if it necessarily got a home run or whatever. I definitely didn't get a home run because I lost, but you know, who knows? But you also had a very good episode last week.
All right, well, let's get into it this week then.
Yes, so I was the loser, so because of that, I'm going to hit by the randomizer. So thanks, Mikey. Thanks, audience. Thanks, Obama. And I'm going to go first then for Monday Night Raw. So we are going to open up with a match.
A match?
A match for the Raw Tag Team Championship.
Okay, good start.
Of course, the Raw Tag Team Champions are Edge and Daniel Bryan. Edge walks out first, like he usually does for his entrances. They have solo entrances. Bryan music hits. Bryan no-shows the match.
Who would have guessed?
Who could have guessed it? Daniel Bryan no-shows after last week. Daniel Bryan did say that he was going to pick the champion. Not pick the champion. I take that back. He's going to, what was his actual phrase? Will be defended to the highest bidder. No other highest bidder than their opponents, the LLC.
Would have guessed.
LLC versus Edge handicap match here for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And the winner is
Edge.
The LLC.
I thought Edge was going to single-handedly defend the titles.
I thought about it. Well, he is single-handedly defending the titles, but he did not win. He did not retain the titles. Bobby Lashley pins Edge. Big win for Bobby Lashley.
Yep.
But there we go. New Raw Tag Team Champions. Mikey, thoughts?
I like it. New challengers for the Undisputed Era coming up. Now I know who to write promos for.
There we go. Yeah. With every championship having to be defended this time around, LLC get those titles, and we have new titles. So now it's LLC versus Undisputed Era at SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. And it will be Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly because Bobby Fish does return soon.
Yes, I think
doesn't get back right before Survivor Series.
Yes, next week I believe.
Yeah.
Moving right along, we have I wrote down here the announcers announced the announcement of the Raw Men's Survivor Series team. Mikey, you ready? Strapped in?
Yep.
The Raw Men's Survivor Series team is Drew McIntyre.
Whoa.
Murphy.
All right.
Ricochet.
Okay.
Aleister Black.
Love it.
And Roman Reigns.
Big team.
Thoughts on that team?
Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you might have something for that.
I shrug my shoulders.
But
I never play my cards.
I like all the choices you made. I like Ricochet. I like Aleister Black. I like Roman. I like Drew McIntyre, and I like Murphy going off on his own and being like, "I'm for Raw now, baby."
Yes.
Who needs the disciples?
Yes. I also like the idea of Murphy and Reigns being on the same team, seeing that there was some issue with, the remember it was like Rollins and Murphy and the Usos versus Edge, Bryan, and the New Day. I believe that's what it was, the full team there. Oh, no, it was a 5-on-5. So, remember. But then Rollins and the disciples walked out. So there's probably some heat between Reigns and Murphy. Who knows if Rollins is going to be on SmackDown side. But, I feel like I really like that tandem. Plus, the announcers also hyped the main event matchup for the Raw Women's Championship tonight. It's going to be Shayna Baszler defending her title against Bayley.
All right.
Big time matchup.
Big match.
Moving right along into a singles match, Lindsay Dorado versus Oni Lorcan.
Okay.
A nice little breather after the all of that big opening segment stuff. And Lindsay Dorado gets the win.
Nice.
Just a casual thing. Get a little breather as we move straight into the next segment, which is Charlie Caruso and cameras are walking to the backstage locker room area, where they walk into the LLC's locker room. And the room is looking a lot like the 305 lounge, leather chairs, champagne. They're popping bottles and whatnot in there. Charlie asks MVP to explain what has happened today. MVP asks that isn't it obvious? Daniel Bryan said that he was going to give the title match to the highest bidder, and there is nobody in this locker room with more green than LLC. Now I can say that to answer what I presume is your follow-up question, I am the new head of LLC.
Interesting. MVP taking Lana's place.
I know I said I would boot Ricochet, but, that would have been a move out of revenge, I'm a businessman, and the smart business move was, well, let's just say I'm the new head of LLC.
Right.
But none of that matters. What does matter is the fact that this team of Lashley and Cesaro are your new Raw Tag Team Champions. They are the greatest tag team on this entire roster, and they have the championships to prove it. And at Survivor Series, the LLC will prove that they are the best in the world when they defeat Undisputed Era. Does that answer your questions, Miss Caruso? Charlie responds saying that she has a few more. MVP says, email them to me, and he goes back to partying with Lashley and Cesaro.
Now, see, what I get that I get why their name is LLC, right? Because they're like this business who like they're like this a business that hurts people, let's say.
Sure.
But the whole reason we called them LLC is because it worked with Lashley, Lana, Cesaro.
Yes.
So you're gonna keep the LLC name now that even MVP is there.
Yeah.
It's not LC MVP.
No.
MVP LC.
No. Yes, that makes sense. But also, moving on to the next segment, we have. Well, look at this. If you name the business that, but then you're.
Let me rebuttal with moving on.
Let me rebuttal moving on. But also, if you you name a business LLC Incorporated or whatever.
You don't name the. No, it's not. The business isn't called It's like blank LLC usually.
Yeah, well, sometimes businesses can be whatever they want. And like this.
LLC.
Don't think too hard. This is Monday Night Raw we're talking about. But you can like have like the name of business boot someone out and the name of the business is still the same. It's not my fault that Lana put in that initial. I don't know. Anyways, moving on to a video package. We see a school bell ringing. And we see a whiteboard with the words referee school being written on it by Charles Robinson.
I expected.
Sitting in all the chairs in the classroom are a bunch of the other referees. After Robinson intros the class, R-Truth walks in late.
Coach Charles Robinson.
Robinson tells Truth that he's late, and Truth responds saying, "My bad." And then he sits down. Robinson asks Truth where his referee shirt is, because all the referees are wearing their shirts, obviously. Truth is not. Truth tells him that he's got it and puts it on. Sadly, it is not a referee shirt. It's a horizontally striped red and white shirt. Robinson face palms and tells Truth that's the wrong shirt. Truth puts on wireframe glasses and says that he was told the number one rule of refereeing is not to be seen, and nobody is better at that than Waldo. Robinson tells Truth that's... Robinson continues to tell Truth that that's the wrong shirt and to get the right one. Truth responds asking if he should have dressed as John Cena instead. Robinson face palms again. Referee school is now in session.
Incredible. If Truth doesn't become the best damn referee Raw has,
I don't know what he's doing with his life.
What I can't wait to see is the hopefully eventual video package of the training montage of Truth going from a really bad referee to a really good referee.
I already have the plan of what the bid is going to be for next week, and I love it so much.
Incredible.
I already know it in my head, and I think it's great. But we're going to move straight along into the next match, which is going to be Rhea Ripley taking on Candice LeRae.
Big matchup right there.
In a Women's Survivor Series qualifying match.
Ooh.
To potentially join DeVille and Royce. I should note that Liv Morgan is watching this match from backstage.
Interesting.
And the winner between Ripley and LeRae is going to be Rhea Ripley.
All right.
So the Women's Survivor Series team is Sonya Deville, Peyton Royce, and Rhea Ripley so far.
I like it.
After a commercial break, we cut backstage to Rhea Ripley looking at her phone angrily. Charlie comes over and asks if everything's okay. Ripley responds that even when I get my own victory, she has to crap on me. I'm sick of it, Charlie. Charlie asks who she's talking about, and Rhea quickly and loudly exclaims, Liv. It's always Liv. I've had a great match and win, and the first message I get is asking me that I'm being a bully to her and asking why our team broke up. How am I being the bully when I have message after message from her saying that I'm crazy and don't know what I'm doing, and when I tell her I'm upset, she tells me that it doesn't matter. I don't understand her, Charlie. It's like I'm being gaslit or something. Rhea storms off angrily.
Interesting.
Thoughts on that, Mikey?
Very interesting storyline building here. I'm very excited to see where this goes, and to see if it's actually Liv bullying Ripley or if it's like a third party who's trying to be malicious and split them up.
Yes.
Or what's going on here.
Yes.
It's very interesting for sure.
Yes. Moving straight into the next match, it is Mickie James making her Raw debut versus another person making her Raw debut. It's rookie versus legend, Mickie James versus Chelsea Green in a Women's Survivor Series qualifying match.
Neat.
Mickie James gets the win.
All right.
So the Raw team so far is Deville, Royce, Ripley, and Mickie James with one spot left open. We'll find out next week who that's going to be.
All right, I like it.
Moving right along into the next segment, it's Tommaso Ciampa saying that next week he will send out a challenge to a fellow champion to defend his United States Championship. What better way to prep for a champion versus champion match, one against the likes of Sheamus, than by facing a fellow champion?
I don't know.
Mikey, thoughts? What champion would you like to see face Tommaso Ciampa?
Face Tommaso Ciampa. I mean, Sheamus and Tommaso Ciampa is going to be a good match for sure.
At Survivor Series, yes, but to defend his title next week, who do you think?
Who do I want to challenge him over on Raw?
You only have three options, I guess. Technically, well, I guess four if you count R-Truth.
there's so many good choices over on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just want to see what you do. Honestly,
okay. I already have written down what I'm going to do, and I cannot wait for it. I'm really a lot of teasing for next week. But let's move into our main event matchup, and that is Shayna Baszler taking on Bayley to defend the Raw Women's Championship. Of course, Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks currently is the Survivor Series match, so Bayley winning here means we can have Bayley versus Sasha Banks at Survivor Series.
Ooh, nice.
Yes, a little bit of history there. Mikey, a lot of back and forth action, very solid match, champion versus former champion here. But the winner is going to be Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, I kind of saw that one coming. But
yeah.
Either way, the match at Survivor Series would have been pretty exciting.
Yes, I think either way the match is exciting. I like Shayna Baszler more in there. No offense to Bayley, Sasha Banks.
But think about Bayley, Sasha Banks, champion versus champion. How sick would that be?
Yeah, it would have been great. But I don't know. I just want to do Baszler instead. Put Baszler in there. I'm a huge fan of Baszler.
I like it.
And there we go. That is my Monday Night Raw. Mikey, thoughts on the whole show? Thoughts, comments, concerns?
I thought it was a really good show. It was a blast. I can't wait to see who Tommaso Ciampa decides to defend his title against. I'm very excited for Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks coming up. A really great main event with Shayna Baszler versus Bayley. Just all around a great Raw. A crazy Survivor Series team that I'm sure will not implode at all.
Well, I will have to find out. We'll have to find out, certainly. So we got a lot of stuff happening. Mikey, I lost last week. Hit me with that randomizer, if you will do so, sir. Oh man, if you don't know, folks, at the end of each episode, you can go to our Twitter at CountOutPod. That's at CountOutPod on Twitter. We'll have a pinned tweet, basically like all weekend after the episode airs, where you can vote on which show you thought was better. Was it Raw or SmackDown? I lost last week, so I got hit by the randomizer. It's like a list of like 40 items that basically will tell me what my fate is. Injuries, wellness policy violations, gimmick matches, heel turns, what have you. Things like that. Things of that nature.
Well, Ryan, I rolled the randomizer hit.
Yes.
We got double booked. Hit the randomizer twice. For
oh, no. Oh, what a way to start.
Yeah, you get 2 hits, baby.
Oh, no. What a way to start. Oh, that's not good.
Ooh, very interesting one here.
Okay.
Especially with how your Raw ended. Fox USA Network calls for you. I guess it would be USA. They want a happy ending.
Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Want a happy ending over on Raw for the first one.
Oh, okay.
And the second one is now loading. We have... Ooh. Oh, never mind. Switched at the last second. You're lucky.
What was it?
It was stuck on insanely bad injury for a second, but then it switched.
Oh, thank God.
You got add a match. Someone went really short in their match length, so now you have to add a match to hit the 2-hour mark. Or 3-hour mark, I guess, for Raw.
Sure. Kind of playing with like 2-hour Raws here. So I have to do a happy ending. An ending that would make the network excited, I guess.
Gotta make the people feel good. Gotta make the audience You gotta send them out with good vibes.
Yes. And then
And also, you must add a match.
Great.
Here.
If Lindsay, Dorado, and owning Lorcan wasn't just me throwing in a random match, now I have to make another one.
Look,
Okay.
you want time to think about that while I go over my SmackDown?
Yeah.
All right, I'll start going over my SmackDown, and we'll come back to you afterwards, so we can so you can have a little bit of time to think about it.
Okay.
All right, so over on SmackDown, we got Kevin Owens opening up SmackDown.
Kevin? I thought you said Kevin. I thought you were about to say Kevin Oatmeal. I don't know why.
Kevin opens Owens up SmackDown. I just want to come out here and formally introduce you all to the newest member of Team SmackDown, AJ Styles.
Hey, baby.
AJ comes to the ring and grabs his own mic and says, "Thank you for the warm welcome, Owens, but look, I have a bone to pick with you. I don't like that you declared yourself captain of this team before we even know who else is on it. I think that we should wait and see who else qualifies before we make that choice."
Oh, interesting.
Owens rebuttals with, "Well, AJ, I respect your opinion. However, seeing as between the two of us, only one has been on SmackDown for more than a week, I think I'm the most fit for the job. You came from Raw literally last week, and you expect me to just trust you to run Team SmackDown and not sabotage our shot at proving ourselves?" AJ steps up and says, "Look, Owens, I may be a lot of things, but I'm not a traitor. I may be new here, but the Phenomenal One is on the blue brand now, and I plan on taking us to a win over Raw, and I can't wait to see who my other teammates are." AJ heads to ringside, pulls up a steel chair, and sits down. Owens follows suit for the first match to begin, which is a qualifying match between Jeff Hardy and The Miz.
Jeff Hardy and The Miz. Solid qualifier match.
And in the end, The Miz ends up getting the victory over Jeff Hardy, qualifying for the SmackDown team.
Okay, so now it's Owens, Styles, and Miz. See ya, Jeff. Get out of here.
Owens, Styles, and Miz is the team right now. After the match, Owens and Styles come to the ring. Both unintentionally stick their hand out to the Miz for a handshake at the same time, but now neither of them wants to be the first one to pull away. It's like a weird game of chicken. The Miz just shakes both of their hands at once and awkwardly raises all of their hands together. They all hate this moment in the ring and leave.
They all hate this.
They all hate this very awkward moment.
I just love that phrasing of "they all hate this."
They all hate this moment they're in, and they leave.
That's awesome. That's really great. I love that a lot.
Yeah, they're just like, it's like a weird double handshake, and it's like, yeah, the SmackDown team, cool, and they all just leave. Great. After that, we have match number 2, which is a qualifier for the women's SmackDown team, and we have Piper Niven taking on Natalya, and Piper Niven gets the victory over Natalya, qualifying for the women's team. So now we have Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Piper Niven.
A solid pick. Not too surprising of that pair there. Putting Piper Niven in there. Bliss. A lot of. I was going to say a lot of new people, but at this point, Alexa Bliss has been on WWE main roster for 4 years now. So I was like, I guess not really anymore.
After that, we have a video package, which is another hype video for Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
Okay. That hype train. The hype train is just moving.
After that, we have match number 3, which is a break from qualifying matches, and we have a tag team match between the Usos and the New Day. Classic tag team matchup between these two. We got Big E and Woods for the New Day coming up with Kofi in their corner versus the Usos, and the Usos pick up the victory in this just a classic tag team match between these two teams happening on SmackDown again. Now that they're back, now that they're both back, and showcasing some new talent for SmackDown. Not new talent for SmackDown, but they just got drafted here, so let's put them on the show.
But also continuation of the rivalry between New Day and Usos a little bit from what happened on Raw recently, and now Usos get the win back.
The Usos get the win back, yes.
Good for them. Good for them.
After that, we have a backstage interview with Samoa Joe about his match with Rey Mysterio tonight for a spot on Team SmackDown later tonight, which is our main event, by the way.
Ooh.
Joe says, unfortunately, someone was going to have to be the sacrificial lamb so I can get on this team. And Ray, it seems that terrible fate has fallen on you. And I'm going to relish in the responsibility I have to take you down and get my spot on that team. Joe walks away.
Okay.
Very intense from Joe about this match later tonight with Mysterio trying to get on the SmackDown team.
Yes.
After that, we have match number 4, which is another women's qualifying match for the SmackDown team over at Survivor Series. We have Toni Storm taking on Zelina Vega, and Toni Storm picks up the victory in her debut match on SmackDown.
Who could have guessed it? Toni Storm versus Zelina Vega. Who's going to get the win?
Toni Storm and Piper Niven now on Team SmackDown.
Yes, with Bianca Belair and Bliss. Yeah, that looking like a solid teams here. Very interesting team dynamics.
Toni Storm, Piper Niven, Bianca Belair, and Alexa Bliss.
I feel like you have a much better looking team than I do.
Oh, it's gonna wait till next week. I have the match for the last spot happening next week, and I'm very excited about it.
Okay, I'm interested who that could be.
After that, we have a post-match interview with Toni Storm about her win over Zelina Vega. She says, "I'm just really excited to be able to show off what I can do on a huge stage like Survivor Series, surrounded by more awesome talent from the SmackDown roster. We are going to kill it and show Raw who really runs the women's division here in the WWE."
Okay, nice promo here. Nice babyface promo.
Yeah, right. A nice Toni Storm babyface promo. Just like, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah. Oof.
But also, we're gonna kick your butt, Raw.
Great.
Great. And after that, we have the main event: Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio in a qualifying match for the men's team, to which Samoa Joe picks up the victory. And after the match, the other 3 members of the team, AJ, Miz, and Kevin Owens, all come to the ring and welcome Samoa Joe to the team.
Wow.
Much less awkward than before.
This men's Survivor Series team looks great. These teams.
Miz, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe.
Mystery person.
One more spot left on both teams. Who's going to get him?
Well, on the Raw side, we have Reigns, McIntyre, Murphy, Black, Ricochet. Like, these are two solid teams here.
Yeah, this is going to be a good Survivor Series, I think.
Very, very good. I'm excited for it. And on the women's side, I mean, also looking good. I think my Raw side looks a little, like, disjointed, but I think it's still fairly good, fairly fine. I think your women's side look way better than mine so far. I'm interested what that last pick is going to be.
Mm-hmm. I'm very excited for my last pick.
Yes, I
think once you hear the match, it'll be fairly obvious, but I think I like it. I like the dynamic they're going to add to the team, let's just say.
I'll take your word for it. I don't even know who else is on your roster that's available because it's a brand new roster, so I don't have it wrapped in my brain so much. But I'm intrigued at the very least who it could be. I don't know yet.
Guess we'll see you next week. Everyone's gonna have to tune in and see what my last two qualifying matches are.
That's fair. I thought this was a good SmackDown. I thought this was a good SmackDown. I think, you had a lot of good stuff. I like the Samoa Joe promo about Rey Mysterio. I think I like that a lot. I like the continuation of the Usos and the New Day with the Usos picking up the victory, giving them more wins there. Piper Niven, Toni Storm, great picks for the women's team. I like this. I liked this continuation of the men's SmackDown roster being weird. Like they're not like weird in a bad way, but just like it's a great team, but they're all like kind of highly egoed people.
That's exactly what I was going for. Like a team of a lot of talent, but also a lot of huge egos clashing against each other.
Exactly.
That's what I was going for with this team.
Exactly. I like it a lot because I like the idea that Owens and Styles are fighting over who should be the captain. Then we're going to throw in Miz. Then we're going to throw in Samoa Joe. Who the hell is the 5th person that's going to somehow hopefully put the team together, if not at all? Very intrigued. Very, very intrigued on that front. I have no idea who it could be, but I don't know. I'm very I think you've hyped me up enough to be very intrigued for both your final spots of the men's and women's SmackDown Survivor Series team. So like from both sides, I'm like, this is a great team so far. Who's the last person? I'm very intrigued on those fronts. So good job in accomplishing that.
Let's just say I have a very interesting last person planned for the SmackDown team.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be next week. Next week I have a pretty wild matchup here. I have two pretty wild matchups for the last spots on the team, and I think they're going to be very good, but I don't know, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, it has that feeling that it could be very good, but I don't know how people are going to react.
I'll take your word for it. We'll see what happens.
Well, Ryan, that's up for SmackDown. Let's hop back on over to Raw to see what you did with those randomizer hits.
Yes, so I've done one of them so far. legitimately.
Okay.
So I've added a six match here. It's right after the Mickie James Chelsea Green Women's Survivor Series match. It's a tag match. It is Heavy Machinery taking on Ziggler and Rude. And Ziggler and Rude get the victory here.
Okay, I like it.
A solid.
I love Heavy Machinery. Heavy Machinery getting a little bit of a spot.
Yeah,
here.
a little tiny spot here, even though they didn't get the win here. Ziggler and Rude get the win. I think it makes sense with reasons, but also it makes sense because Ziggler and Rude are coming off of their last pay-per-view where they were challenging for the titles. I think them having another win still like says that like, oh, they're potential title contender people. I don't know. They're still potentially up there. So I think that's something there. Heavy Machinery. Sorry, fellas. Maybe they should have won because now my champions are the LLC. So maybe Heavy Machinery versus LLC is just a easy feud in the making, just storyline wise.
Just grandfathered in there already.
Yeah, blue collar versus white collar. I mean, that's an easy story to tell.
Blue collar crime versus white collar crime.
Not crime. What are you saying crime for? This is blue collar workers versus the white collar LLC business folks.
That's true. No, you're right. I do like that. That dynamic there.
Yes, I'm sure I'll use that dynamic in the future at some point. When?
You could say Lashley and Cesaro are hard workers. They're just their hard work is beating people up.
Yeah, exactly, and they'll make money off of it. Where Heavy Machinery is beating people up to survive or some shit.
Make ends meet, put food on the table.
Because what is it?
Meanwhile, Lashley and Cesaro are using their money to buy their way into title matches.
Exactly. What was that thing? I remember on Twitter, like forever ago, someone made a ridiculous claim that Otis is the next Dusty Rhodes.
What?
It was like forever ago. I want to say it was like when he won the Money in the Bank title or briefcase. Someone was like, yeah, Otis is the next Dusty Rhodes. And I was like, whoa. What the hell are you talking about?
I just want to talk about how the one thing WWE still had me interested in what they were going to do with Otis in that briefcase and see how Otis was going to cash in. Mm-hmm. But now that Otis doesn't have the briefcase anymore, I literally don't care about anything WWE has to say to me anymore.
I feel worse for...
The fact that they were fucking cowards and backed out on giving Otis any cash in is something I'm never going to forgive them for.
I mean, it became a storyline with The Miz. Where
I don't
it was
know
like,
all the other shitty things they've done.
It became a storyline with The Miz where The Miz is telling him that, like, you don't know how to use the briefcase. And then Miz won it. I feel worse for Tucker because the tag team broke up. They're on two different brands. And now Tucker's futzing about with the 24/7 title on Raw, doing nothing.
Who would have guessed? It's almost like WWE never has fucking plans for what they're doing ahead of time. They just do stuff for a big, like, oh, they broke up. Now what? I don't know.
It sucks. I mean, now that with Heavy Machinery over and Vince McMahon liking Otis so much, Otis will stay for a while. Tucker, I don't know, man. It might be rough. It might be rough.
I mean, they were good together, right? Like, I don't know why they split them apart. Like, the whole thing was that they were great together.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I still need to figure out a happy ending here. I was gonna have Baszler attack Bayley and then Banks makes a save, but that makes no sense in terms of storyline. So maybe what would be a happy ending? I'm thinking about like Banks making her an appearance. So it's like Baszler.
You're gonna have to run that by me, sir.
Well, yeah, I'm just. This is what I'm thinking about. Just to let the audience in on this. I'm thinking about having Banks make an appearance. I don't know how I can turn that into a happy ending sort of thing. I don't know like how that would be like.
Also a heel.
Yes, Banks also a heel. I thought of maybe like an invasion angle sort of thing here. I don't know. I have a really downer of a card now that I look at it because I have the only face person that wins is, well, I have it a lot, I guess. It was Lindsay, Dorado, Rhea Ripley, and Mickie James. They're all faces. It's not really anything that's really happy ending worthy unless I swap it with something else, but I don't want to do that. I could have Bayley win because Bayley's a face, and a happy ending could be that like Bayley not broke down, but beat Baszler, and now it's Bayley versus Banks at Survivor Series.
But me and you both know you don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that, but that's definitely happy ending worthy. And if my decision is I have to make a happy ending versus something I want to do, I have to go with happy ending. But I'm trying to think of whether or not there's an idea that's a happy ending, but also something I want to do. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm also trying to think about like, what like is there like a post match?
You can go with the trope that me and Zach always see on Independent Waters, where it's like a really intense match, and then the two shake hands at the end and give a good happy ending. The two raise each other's hands as a sign of respect, give each other a hug.
Yes, because nothing screams sign of respect like Shayna Baszler.
Listen, man, I'm trying.
No, I appreciate it. I just don't know what to do, and that is the problem. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll have after the match. How about this? This could be fun. Mikey, this could be fun.
Could it be fun?
Yeah, I think it could be fun.
But is it fun?
Maybe. It could be. Could be fun. After the match, Shayna Baszler goes to break Bayley's arm or something.
Whoa.
With a chair.
That's right. That's not a happy ending.
With a chair. Someone's got to make the save. That someone is going to be Candice LeRae.
All right.
Candice LeRae makes the save. I'm writing this all down as I'm saying it. Makes the save. Stopping Baszler. Baszler rolls out of the ring. Candice LeRae picks up the Raw Women's Championship.
Whoa!
Seemingly challenging Baszler for the title.
Whoa, bold move.
Is that a happy ending? Is that a good enough happy ending?
I think that counts.
I think that counts as well. I think that's something that's a happy ending, but also I don't know if it's like enough of a happy ending for the network to like it, but what am I, the network? I feel, who's the network? Is you the network? I don't know.
Yes.
These scenarios? Does this make you happy?
I mean, I think so. I think it definitely makes me happy. It's a good happy ending. I like the feel good possibility of LeRae possibly challenging Baszler.
LeRae possibly challenging Baszler. There's something about the team of Bayley and LeRae that just makes me excited. Not saying that they're teaming, but just that idea of them teaming just seems interesting to me.
Yes.
And yeah, and then that obviously they can't defend the title at Survivor Series. Maybe it's the next pay-per-view, TLC.
Maybe.
Who knows? Well, there we go. That's it. That's Raw. That's SmackDown. 6 matches on Raw, a bunch of matches on SmackDown as well. Survivor Series again is coming up not next week. Well, basically kind of next week.
Basically kind of.
Yeah, next Friday is the next final episode, the go-home episode of Hit the Books. Yes. That following Sunday, which is, let me look up the actual date of it just to make sure I'm getting it correctly. That following Sunday, which is the 22nd of November, is going to be Survivor Series, our pay-per-view special. We already have a bunch of things already announced, and that is, of course, currently Keith Lee versus Sami Zayn, Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks, Tommaso Ciampa versus Sheamus, the LLC versus Undisputed Era, and of course we have the women's Survivor Series team so far: Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Piper Niven, Toni Storm, and versus Sonya Deville. Versus Sonya Deville, Peyton Royce, Rhea Ripley, and Mickie James, and also another question mark there. Then we also have the men's Survivor Series team, which is Reigns, McIntyre, Murphy, Black, and Ricochet. Yes, and Ricochet. I got confused all of a sudden. Versus Owens, Styles, Miz, Joe, and question mark. Plus some potential more matches. I believe there's like potential 2 to 4 more 1 to 4 more matches on top of that.
Surprise, my question mark is the question mark.
Oh, God. It's the question mark. It's going to do some karate on Kevin Owens' ass. But yeah, so we got more matches potentially lined up as well. Mikey, anything to plug to close out the show?
You can go check out every Wednesday at Independent Waters, which is my and Zach Batista's podcast, where we talk about some great gems we found hidden in the independent wrestling seas. Every Wednesday here on the Countout Network. Go check that out if you're into indie wrestling, if you're into seeing new matches, if you're into hearing about new wrestlers. We do it all over there, so go check us out every Wednesday, Independent Waters.
Yes, go check out Independent Waters. You can also check out G1 and Only. It's also on this feed, or it's on its own thing, or whatever. G1 Only. Basically, I am going through and learning and reviewing the matches and performance of wrestlers who have appeared in New Japan's G1 Climax only once. It's very interesting. It seems like a weird thing because it's like, why don't you do the other thing? Or like, why don't you talk about some other stuff? I think it's very interesting to look at like people who have only been in it once, discuss why they've only been in once. Like, why haven't we seen more Steve Austin, stunning Steve Austin, or more Rick Rude in the G1 and Only? But I think it's a very interesting conversation. It's also like very interesting to see who's like been in the G1 Climax. Like I said, Steve Austin being in it. And you can talk about, for example, his performance on the latest episode 2 of G1 and Only, where we talk about the 1992 G1 Climax. Mikey, 1992 G1 Climax, 8 of the 16 participants were in this G1 only once. So it was a longer ass episode.
Yeah,
I think there was like 10 matches I had to talk about or something.
Wow.
It's just a butt tons, but a lot of good stuff in there, so go check out G1 and Only. You can also follow us on Twitter at CountOutPod. You can follow me at Ryan Knightsey. Mikey, I don't have your Twitter handle booted up, but
at Mikey133 over on Twitter.
There we go. You can follow us there on Twitter as well. You can follow subscribe when you get the chance. Subscribe to the podcast feed, whether you're listening to its own separate or whatever. Subscribe to it so that you can get more episodes and prep for all new things when it comes down the pipeline. Follow us on YouTube.
Speaking of subscribing, go check out our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Count Out Podcast, where we have everything that has to do with this podcast. We actually have some vlogs from when me, Ryan, and Zach went to the collective over in Indy, so go check those out. That was a fun experimental thing we did that hopefully you get to do more of, because I had a blast doing it. And we have little commentary videos when we do our 2K outcomes, and we have the draft video if you missed that. So go check out with a little bit of a visual aid if you want to go check that out.
Yeah, the draft is definitely easier to look at when you're, I think, watching it, just to get the visuals of it a little bit better. We do our best to make it audibly understandable. Audibly understandable is just, I think, the greatest note for podcasting I ever have. It's audibly understandable.
I would hope so.
Yes. If you're making a podcast, make sure it's audibly understandable. You can't describe something that the audience can't see. So there we go. Our truth. Anything else? Anything I say? I remember you saying something, Mikey, at one point that you and Zach were thinking about like doing something else for the visuals for the YouTubes, but I don't know what's happening with that. But if it is happening, then a tease. If it's not happening, then not a tease. Then anything else? I feel like you don't remember what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, then I guess it's not a tease. I guess you can cut that out or not. But I say don't, because I'm no edit Nightsy. I guess you could, because I maybe no edit Nightsy, but Mikey does do editing, so I guess you could.
It's really up to me in the end if you're no edit Nightsy.
Oh no. I like the idea of you editing out and me saying no edit. So it's just me, Ryan, Nightsy.
Or just me, Ryan, edit Nightsy.
I'm all about editing.
I'm just going to take everything we say no edit, I'm just going to take out no.
Oh, please don't. You'll ruin my career. My brand. My branding.
Ryan, he edits Nightsy.
Perfect. 3. Oh, no more, no less. Let's end this goddamn episode. Thank everybody for listening to this week's episode of Hit the Books. We'll be back all next week with a whole fresh new cards for Raw and SmackDown. Until then, we've got 2 words for ya.
Book it.